Welcome back to episode 11 of Why Do I Do That? Today I have my friend Steph here, who is also in the industry. We met because we both worked in the industry. We reached out. I think you were maybe even going to do the course at one point.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you got some people into my course.
Yeah.
So Steph is the perfect person because she is my friend. So we're going to have funny chats, but she also is very well educated in this healing industry.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you.
So we're going to answer the question together today.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a bit more of a conversation than I mean, we're educators by nature, but it'll be more of a conversation than a lecture, which I feel like some of mine have ended up being.
Yeah.
So today's question is, why do I care about other people's opinions more than my own? And I'd love to hear your perspective on this first.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. Such an honor. I love this question because I definitely think it is a truth for a lot of people, and whoever asked this, thank you for coming forward. It's a vulnerable question, and I think my perspective really does start with my straight away mind just goes childhood. Like I just go like, you know, how our nervous system is equipped to be accepted and belong and connect, and we're learning about the world. And for so many pivotal years, you are taught to be the most spongiest observer of what do people think of me, what's going on, what's going to make me feel accepted and liked and belong, essentially. And it's a very beautiful experience to want that. We don't have to shame that, but I think what can happen is we get stuck in that and we don't actually learn that we are okay and have the self-trust and the self-worth to be like, I'm totally cool even if people don't like me. And we're just, that's our normal. That's our, if people don't like me, then who am I, basically? Or like, I'm not enough, or, you know, there's a few pieces there to unpack, but I definitely go straight to childhood, doing that from just a learnt behavior, a survival, and that being your internal world and your internal experience for so long. Then how do you break out of that if you're not sure how to break out of that? And it's not because you're doing anything wrong or you're wrong. It's just actually changing your patterns and changing your internal world to be okay if people don't like you, and actually feel regulated in that and feel empowered in that and feel safe in that.
Yeah, and we're not taught that, are we? Like our parents don't teach us that. If anything, I feel like they teach us the opposite. Like they're like, don't be like that, don't do that. And they're like telling us that we have to behave a certain way in front of people.
Yeah.
I even noticed that with my kids. Like I noticed that they're already aware of like what other people think of them at such a young age. And it's that acceptance thing. Like we all just want to be loved and accepted, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and it's like, I think whether it's your parents or whether it's your teacher at school or whether it's your tennis coach or your ballet teacher or whoever you are positioning as like an authority or someone that you're learning from, you know, you are taught to do the ballet dance in the right way or do the tennis move in the right way or sit at your desk or eat at the dinner table, and you're going to listen and do it in that way in order to feel liked, in order to belong, in order to feel accepted. And it's just like, that is literally what you're taught. Like you're taught to be liked, essentially. You were connecting to the element of being liked. So it's like, that's definitely the kind of conversation that comes straight to my head.
Yeah.
And just like removing that shame from it too, because it's actually a part of your psyche. Like it's not your core essence. That's
And how many people get teased like, oh, you're trying to be cool. It's like everyone's trying to be cool.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's existing in a world where they actually want to be liked. You're allowed to want to be liked.
Yeah.
It's just about finding a balance of like, how can I ensure that how I like myself and how I feel about myself is actually just more of a priority than what other people are thinking of me, I guess.
And do you feel like that comes back to self-validation? Because I find that even with my kids, like I'm so aware of whenever they do something really good, they'll come to me and be like, Mum, did you see that? And if this again is just like children wired for their parents' love, but like they'll come and be like, did you see that? Or did you see that goal? Or did you watch I won that race or whatever? And whenever they do something good, they want you to be the one to be like, yeah, you did really good. I'm so proud of you. But they're like seeking something outside. So I always say to my kids first, like, are you proud of yourself? And like, did that feel good for you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're never really taught, unless we have good parents, of course. But most parents aren't teaching their kids how to like self-validate, therefore care about their own opinions first. We're like, from such a young age, just like looking at what everybody else is, like what our parents are thinking, and then our friends when they get into school, like what's cool, what's not cool, all of that. But, like,
I love that.
We don't like at any point, unless you do self-help work, I guess, actually start to like like internally
like praise yourself,
and self-validate,
and feel that praise. And I still do that. I still ask for validation. I still ask for praise. Like, I know I love it when like words of affirmation from my partner, and I'm like, did you see that? Did you see my reel? Did you see this? Or like, because I'm really getting into skateboarding at the moment, like I can have this exact memory come back of like literally last week at the skate park. I could go around like down a ramp or around this curve, and the first thing I did was look at my sister and feel disappointed that she didn't see it. I was like, did you see that? Did you see that? Like, I was like, oh my gosh. So it's like, you're always going to do that, right?
Because that's the
like,
human part.
That is the human part. And you want to be celebrated and you want to be praised. Like, you do something good and it's like, yeah, like you said, did you see it? So I really freaking love that with your kids, which doesn't surprise me at all.
It's finding that line though then, isn't it? So like, what's the line where like you can self-validate and you're not doing it all the time to a point where, because some people I know, I've had women through Thrive, which is that 8-week program that I do, that are like chronic, like every single thing that they think or every decision that they make, they're like, is that right? Do you think that's right? Should I have done that? Why am I thinking about that? And they're like outsourcing every decision and every thought. So I guess like where would be the line of like what's natural in human nature and what needs work?
Like what comes to mind for me is just, what is your internal world or what's your internal experience when you're asking for that validation? So are you reaching for validation really automatically and it's unconscious and it's like, I need this to actually feel really good, and your internal world is like, until I have it I feel anxious, until I have it I feel sad, until I have it I feel shame, or I actually don't feel good enough being who I am behind closed doors until I get approval. But if your internal experience and your internal world is more natured of like, I feel quite neutral and I feel quite calm and I feel excited, and it's like this positive experience, this joyful, fulfilling experience. And you know in yourself, like, it's that sacral, it's that safety, it's that, I know I'm getting this because I can, but I'm not surviving in it. I'm not anxious without it.
It's the need it?
It's the internal state. Is it anxious or is it positive? And I think that's what's going to be your deciding factor. That's what's going to be your desire for change of like, okay, I know I'm relying on this because I feel anxious without it, or I feel sad without, or I don't feel good enough without it. If that's your experience around validation, then that's probably also going to then lead to shame, and it turns into that cycle. Like there's a shame cycle involved, and then whenever you actually get praise, you're dampening that experience for yourself. You're like, oh, well, I need this for the wrong reasons, and it's just not a good internal experience. So I think if that's your experience, then that's most likely a sign that you need to incorporate some new patterns, incorporate some new behaviors, and start making it a more positive experience and feeling worthy and neutral without validation. And like, what another thing that comes to mind for me is like, what are you getting that's negative about it? Like, why does it have to be negative? So I guess that's definitely what comes to mind to me, is that deciding factor being like, what's the internal experience? What's your internal world? What's your relationship with validation?
Yeah. And what you need it for, I was just thinking as well, is like, because there's that whole thing of like, especially in relationship where if you've been criticized for a really long time, you might need, going into a healthy relationship, extra validation and extra reassurance. But after a period of time, that heals because it's like fulfilled the need. So if there's a need, like to be validated for a period of time, that's healing in itself as well. So some people might see that as like, oh, I always need validation, but they're actually potentially healing a part. So it's like looking at where is it and where is it showing up? Because I know
was just thinking
I can see your
like,
brain. I'm like, are we on sync?
I was like, is it one area? Is it just
all areas of
is
life?
it all areas? Like, I feel like that's definitely going to be your door of like, is it just relationships that you're needing validation? But when you're single, you're completely fine.
Yes, which is that whole thing of like attachment theory is only activated when you're in relationship. Like you could be, and I feel like I'm a little bit like that. Like I can be just this boss ass bitch, like loving life, like confident, don't need anyone's opinion, make huge decisions on my own. And then as soon as I'm in a relationship, I'm like,
or like there's like a trigger that comes up and you're like, I feel like I go more, I'm definitely a recovering avoidant. And, you know, I've had a beautiful healing journey around that. But yeah, for me, it's like if anything, my experience around validation has been like, I don't allow validation. I'm like, I don't need it. I don't want to, I don't allow it. I see it. I used to, I'm going to use past tense here confidently. Like, I used to see it as like, I don't need it, I don't want to, you know, I was like more avoidant. And then now that I'm in with my current partner, Harrison, shout out, beautiful man. It's like when I got into a secure attachment, I was more like, that's when it brought up like the little anxiousness and like I've found myself needing validation, but without going too much down that rabbit hole. I think it can definitely be linked to those attachment wounds if you are finding that it's only relationships that you're like desiring to be liked and putting that above your own happiness in a certain area of life. Like could be work. It could be like not performing your best at work because you're so worried about what other people are going to think to you and you think of you and positioning that higher. Like what area of life, or is it multiple areas of life?
Yeah. And I know so many people who like it's all areas. They're worried about what their parents think and what their partner thinks and what their friends think and what their colleagues at work think, and it's like affecting every area of their life. What would you suggest for somebody who it is affecting? Like, because I feel like the person who asked this question, it's like a chronic situation. Like they're every single person's opinion, they're taking on and absorbing that as meaning something about them and taking everything personally. What would you, I mean, I feel like I'm about to read your mind and say shadow work, but what would you suggest for somebody who's doing that in all situations? Like everyone else's opinion is just mattering more than their own.
Yeah. I would highly suggest getting a little bit cozier with your internal world to begin with. I would be looking at the parts of you that are requiring that validation and placing that above your own, whilst also going on a journey of discovering who you are and everything you are meant to be and currently are, and starting to fall back in love with that. Because along the lines throughout your experience, whether it was childhood, whether it was your inner teenager or your inner child, or, you know, it could have been childhood, adolescence, or young adulthood, somewhere along your experience, you have a truth that how you are currently and your truest truth of who you are is actually potentially not enough or good enough. And then I would also be getting really compassionate and curious and up close and cozy with the parts of you that are experiencing that shame and pedal stooling that validation and saying, what are you needing this for? Where have you come from? How can I love you? And actually partnering up with this part of you and getting really close from this compassionate, curious, loving place.
Parts work. What does the part need?
What does the part need?
Yep.
And instead of, if there has been a truth around shaming it and being like, no, and then just like automatically and unconsciously seeking this approval. But it does sound like it's quite conscious if you're asking the question.
Yeah.
And going on a journey of that. So there's two avenues that can coexist here is like, that journey of getting up close with the parts work, what's going on there, being compassionate, being curious from a really like loving energy, and then also taking yourself on a journey of like literally dating yourself, self exploration, and getting to know yourself in a way where you can start to fall in love with those parts of yourself as a whole. So I guess it is shadow work in a way, but I would say it's more true to like that parts work.
Yeah.
That's definitely those two avenues that come to mind straight away.
I think of parts work as shadow work. I feel like IFS,
Yeah,
it's very similar, but
yeah,
yeah.
I definitely think that's where I would start.
There's so many people I know that will say, like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I have so many clients, and I'm sure you do too, that were like, you know, when I say like get in touch with like your truest self and who you are and what you really want, they're like, I don't even know anymore because they've pushed it so far down that they don't actually know who, because they literally have just been living who they think they have to be. So I normally say to those people, because it can be really confusing. It's like, do I want this because other people have told me that I want this, or do I really want this, and what does my soul actually want? And it can be really hard to kind of unpack. And I always say to people that whatever you desire is like to be, or whoever you desire to be is who you're meant to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it's dropping in and you want it and you feel like you can't be it because of other people, like that's the thing.
That's
just
the thing.
Like let desire lead you instead of the shoulds.
And be curious about each of those things. Like if you have something drop in and you start intellectualizing and getting really logical and going, is this or is this or is it this? The reality is it's probably always going to be a mix of both, like as humans. That's your human experience. So instead of trying to just like break it apart and compartmentalize it, how about you allow it to drop in, sit with it? How is it feeling in your body? Just start there. Is it anxious? Is it depleting? Is it not a good internal experience? And then follow it with curiosity and then lean into it. And then you'll know once you actually take that step towards it, okay, actually, no, I think maybe this is a desire coming from someone else's validation or desire to be liked. So I'm going to put that to the side for now.
And I feel like you can tell because it feels good. If it's for you, it feels good. If it's for someone else, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, 100%. And I think if you take away this pressure to know the right, most perfect, immediate answer, you can sit with yourself better. And those bodily sensations come through of like, oh, this feels good, this feels exciting, this feels joyful.
Yeah.
And I think that is the place to start, because it's like, even if it is coming from a place of, okay, like if a desire drops in and it ends up coming from a place of like out of desire to be validated and desire to be liked, at least you were curious with it and you allowed it to come forth and you lovingly said, no, we're not doing this again. You know, you're breaking that pattern from that energy. If you're breaking that pattern from like, oh my gosh, it's come through, I'm doing it again, why can't I break this pattern, all this stuff, like you're not in the physiological state to want to change it. Like it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
And stop shaming that, and like you will relax more.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's so hard too though, because don't you find that like if you're doing it sometimes like for validation from other people, it feels like it sometimes feels easier than if you're doing something that's for yourself, but it feels a bit scary and a bit big. Like sometimes it's hard to tell that difference between the anxiety of like wanting people to like you and the anxiety of doing something that's actually like super true to you. So people, it's really hard to like find that difference. And there's this idea that like if you're, I think you'll understand this, that like if you're like living in alignment and like, you know, all of that, then you're going to feel really good all the time and feel, you know, alive, and you're going to feel in alignment. But some of the biggest work that I've done that was most me felt so fucking scary to do at the time and felt uncomfortable, and I felt like my world was just in chaos. And then came out the other side and it was amazing. So it's like sometimes like doing something that feels right for you, but that is, you think other people are going to be opinionated about, also feels scary.
Yes. So to that, I would definitely say choose the path of most resistance.
Of most or least?
Most
resistance.
So like, I guess that's where it's like, yes, there's a lot of emphasis, especially in the personal development world, where it's like choose a path of least resistance. But
spirituality.
It's like, but it's like the path of least resistance is probably the path you're currently on and very normal to and comfortable with, and probably a disservice to you, hence why you're wanting change. The path of most resistance is going to probably be then the path that is going to lead to a breakthrough and change and breaking pattern. It's going to feel, your body is going to step up, your mind's going to step in and be like, no, we haven't been doing that. Like, we've been doing it, and that's really unsafe. And even though consciously you're like, okay, I want this change for myself. I want to stop placing people's opinions above my own. That's going to feel so scary subconsciously. So it's going to be like, choose the path of most resistance and lean into it. And the thing that I want to say with that as well is like, you're going to be okay even if you do go down that path and then you realize something else. Like, no matter what, you are safe and you're going to be okay. And it's like, you're allowed and safe to choose the path of most resistance. Like, you're not going to die. And I think that's like something we're both passionate about. It's like, if you break it down and you go down to the bottom of that bucket, it's like your brain's like,
I'm going to die.
If I place someone else's opinion if I place my own opinion, above someone else's, that's going to rejection, judgment, die. It's like,
no one's going to like me. I'll end up alone. I'll die with my cats.
Like we've all been there, right? Yeah. Like, as a little spiral moment.
Yeah. Which comes back to that childhood thing, because it's like, as children, we had to be accepted and loved in order to fit into our families. Otherwise, we would actually die.
Yeah, so, literally. Like, your nervous system is literally created for that reason when you're growing up.
So then to have someone tell you, especially if you've been someone that is used to taking people's opinions all the time, the work then would be when someone tries to give you their opinion, to be like, thank you for your opinion, but I actually believe something different, or I actually don't, and to take that would be, that's hard and scary and the path of most resistance, but that would equal growth. And in the moment it would feel awful and shit, and you'd leave and be like, oh my God, why did I say that? But then later on you
start small. Like, that's the thing, like, allow your nervous system, allow your mind to expand as you expand. So it's like, if you're 100% and your ultimate goal is to be able to stand convicted and strong and anchored in your own opinions, because like, we're allowed to be impressionable, right? Like, that's a trait of mine that I love. I love that I can have an opinion, and then we might be at coffee and you'd be like, but what about this? And I'm like, yes. Like, I'm glad I have that ability, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
open-mindedness is important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I kind of lost my train of thought. Actually, it's come back. The train's back at the station.
The train's back. Choo-choo.
But start small, because it's like, if you're, to tie it back in, start small, because like, if your ultimate goal and 100% goal and vision is to be like placing and be convicted and be confident in that and all of that stuff, that's great. But if you go straight to that, like, you're just going to bounce back and be like, and probably have a panic attack after you do reject
system,
that. Yeah. So it's like, what's 5%? Like, what's the 5% of that 100%? For example, this could just be going to an area of life that you do feel more confident in, going to an area of life where maybe you have a bit more evidence of you showing your opinion. So maybe this could be in your own space, like not involving another human. It could just be something that you feel confident with, looking in the mirror and just being, and saying your opinion. Just give a voice to your opinion.
Yeah.
Just start there. Speak. What is your opinion? Start there, and then tell your really close friend or a family member that you love and trust that opinion.
Yes, I love that.
And then like, slowly expand.
I love the 5%, because I'm a 120% person. As soon as there's something to work on, I'm like, deep end.
Yeah.
But I like that, because it's like, it's
immediate,
definitely like
perfect,
easier, smaller ways
action.
to do it. Yeah.
And it's like, boom, bounce back. And it's like,
start small, work up to it.
Start small, work up to it.
Yeah.
And like, foster strength and foster conviction from another area of life. Like, maybe there's a movie that you love and someone else doesn't like it. Start with a conversation like that. Like, oh, I actually love that movie. That's a somewhat perceived unharmful conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's less like deep and
It
like,
depends who you're talking to. But
you know, let's like not talk politics and all of this, like, it's really scary.
Loaded conversations.
I'm going to get cancelled if I say this opinion.
Yeah.
Start small, start with fun, like the playful things, you know, and just like expand slowly. And I think that's going to create a bit more safety. That's going to give your brain more evidence, and play with it. Like, I love the word play at the moment. It's definitely a theme, but like, literally, like, pretend you're a character and be like, I have this opinion. Like, just play around with it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that, play. I feel like we've nailed this. I feel like there's lots of little tips and things in there. So yeah, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming on, and Steph will be in some more episodes, I am sure. If you loved this episode, please share it, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks so much.